This is Ready, Set, Reiki, a podcast about Reiki and all energy work, from the curious beginner to the seasoned master teacher, welcoming all systems, all lineages, and all levels. Reiki is a journey and not a destination. And on this Ready, Set, Reiki journey, I refer to myself as a guide. So I'm Tracy C. Wright, and this is Ready, Set, Reiki. Hello, beautiful listeners. Welcome to Ready, Set, Reiki. Today, a wonderful guest. Now, on this journey of our Reiki podcast here, I have spoken with many practitioners who help with the hands-on healing here. But today, wonderful guest who is an energy clearing guide. So, Mina Japal Peri is a classical Feng Shui master energy clearing guide and founder of Momentum Feng Shui. Now, she integrates traditional Feng Shui with spiritual practices to help clients worldwide transform their spaces and elevate their lives. Now, she uses the flying star methods, which Mina maps energy flow into homes and workspace to enhance positivity and neutralize obstacles, fostering peace and health into this beautiful environment of which is your home. Now, she brings in peace, health, and abundance, removing those obstacles. Now, with 100 plus 5-star reviews and an international client base, her work revitalizes homes, strengthens relationships, and inspires deeper connection to one's true self. Her mission is to create harmonious environments where balance and success thrive. Mina, welcome to Ready, Set, Reiki.
Thank you, Tracy. I am so grateful for this opportunity. You and I both are in the realm of energy and from a slightly different angle, but the same mission. So again, thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's about, that flow of energy. And, you work, in the home and the workspace. And we both have that goal of bringing positivity and love and light in. So I can't wait to start our journey together. So let's begin. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I grew up in the Western world. I belong to an Indian family and very spiritual grounding. My father was my best friend throughout the times that we did share together. And just growing up in the realm of spirituality, grounded energy, being mindful of the daily practices, certain rituals. I'm blessed to have had that experience.
Beautiful. So when did energy clearing, feng shui, come into your life?
Yes, as I said, growing up in an Indian family, I think this was just a natural extension. The universe had a bigger plan for me, and unknown to me, I was slowly evolving on that journey. We grow up around astrology, numerology, and many holistic rituals. And life was happening, and I was working, and when I had my youngest, he's now 28, so 28 years ago, I somehow stumbled across a coffee table book on feng shui. And I was curious. I kept it on the coffee table. I browsed it. I implemented the recommendations in my home over the years in the family's home, friends. And then about almost 10 years ago now, I lost my father. And I truly feel to this day that he was my guide that said, okay, Meena, enough talking about feng shui. You need to take it to the next level. And all of a sudden I got curious into what is feng shui more than what I knew. And that led me one step at a time to discover different types of feng shui. And here I am.
Beautiful. Well, first of all, I'm sorry for the loss of your father. So I too lost my father a couple of years ago, and but it's beautiful that he is guiding you and helping you in your journey. How wonderful is that? Lovely. Well, I have been familiar with feng shui, but you are a classical feng shui master. So is there a difference by putting the word classical in front of feng shui master?
Yes, very much so. And I'll explain that. So when I started to look into what is feng shui more than what I knew, I realized that there are many types of feng shui. And Tracy, just like you're familiar being a Reiki practitioner, that Reiki originated in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and we have holistic approaches like meditation, yoga, Ayurveda. All that started in India, and Feng Shui originated in China. So over the years, it was introduced in the Western world, and there is many different types of feng shui being practiced. I don't know if it's the Indian in me or just now where I am at in life. I really wanted to pay respect to where did it originate? What was the practice? And I discovered that classical feng shui is the most precise version. Being Having said that, it's because we take into consideration where is the energy entering from very precisely with the compass. I'll give you an example of astrology. This, when I share this, it really resonates with my clients. Is in astrology, back in the day, if somebody wanted to know about their upcoming week or month, they looked in the magazine or newspaper. You and I have been around during those times, and we read our upcoming week or month and said, okay, that doesn't really sound like me, or okay, fine, sure. But when we wanted accurate astrology reading, we sourced out an astrologer. He asked for our date of birth, place of birth, most importantly, time of birth, right down to the minute, and created a custom report for us, whether it was for the upcoming year or a 10-year cycle or so on. This is classical feng shui. I take
Beautiful.
the dwelling, four walls and a ceiling, whether it's a home or business or shopping center, doesn't matter. I take its birth time when the roof went on and that energy got sealed. Then I take into consideration the square footage, many other factors, who's lived there, what's happened since, but
Mm.
most importantly, where is the energy entering from? Is it entering at 115.4 to 21.9? And I create a custom create feng shui report. That's Flying Stars method. That's feng
Mm.
shui.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, just like there's many different systems and styles of Reiki and yoga. I'm a yoga teacher as well. It's a very nice to have that classical to honor it because, as you may know, with Reiki, it has shifted, changed, and some of the Reiki out there today doesn't look very similar to how it first began. So I like that it's classical, classical.
And your beautiful example you shared about Reiki, but the same concept applies to all these modalities that we just talked about.
Hmm.
When they're simplified, we may get simplified results, if any. And then people are starting to lose faith in the modality,
Yeah,
saying it doesn't work, but it's the core of it, what is being practiced.
wonderful. So, as you are out doing your work, being of service to so many people, what are some of the common misconceptions about being a classical feng shui master?
I'll share the top two that I come across quite often in the questions that are being sent to me or over my discovery calls. One is we know somebody who's had great success with feng shui. We believe in it wholeheartedly. We're ready for this shift in our life because we've tried other things and obviously didn't work. And here we are. But we feel our home has a lot of clutter, and
Mm.
we need to remove the clutter before we can get the feng shui done. So
Ah,
at that point, of course, it's a big factor. Clutter is suppressing any of the possibilities, potentials coming their way. But at that point, my response is, what came first, the chicken or the egg? If you were meant to clear the clutter before you implement the feng shui tools, you would have done it by now. You have the awareness. Something
right.
is blocking you from taking that route. And the second misconception is that a feng shui master, in this case Mina, will come in and she'll say, this is wrong, this is wrong, we need to take down the wall, we need this kitchen isn't right, the bathroom isn't right, or
Right.
your living room has too much red, she'll make us sell off all this furniture. It is not that. The reason I practice classical feng shui, and I'm very clear, it's all over my media presentations or when I speak in person, is in classical feng shui. There is a remedy for almost everything. We don't make anybody take down any walls. There's something very similar in India that is called Vastu, and I could have trained in that at the time. The
Mhm.
reason I chose classical feng shui is for how simple and effective those remedies are without creating any destruction in anybody's life.
Right, right. Yeah, that seems to be, I've heard that as well, as someone coming in and kind of, no, you have to move this and your kitchen isn't in the right place. You have to rip out the stove or you have to move this and that. So thank you for explaining that so that someone can listen to this and be like, yeah, I can give it a try. I mean,
Yeah.
what's the harm, right? You come in and, find different ways of looking at things to allow the energy to flow. So I like that you work with what they already have.
Yes, so in the Western world, we don't have options to locate a kitchen, even if we were building from scratch. The
Sure.
homes are in subdivisions, the kitchen's going in the back left or right, and the front door is at the front. And so we have to work with what we have. And I always say, I'll probably repeat this a couple of times in our conversation today because it really resonates deeply with me. Is half is the tools, the other half is the intention we place it with. If
Sure.
we're
Sure.
placing some things that are precisely calculated and they're simple remedies, knowing that these are feng shui tools and they're going to work, they're going to work.
Right, right. Well, since we're dealing with the modality of energy work, you may have clients like I do that by the time they reach out to you, they are really in a struggle or have challenging. That may be the part of their journey that, like, I got to do something. Everything else isn't working. And as you're out helping those individuals and through their challenges, what has been the biggest challenge or struggle you have faced in your own healing journey?
Um, I won't really say challenges or struggles. There's times when I find myself yearning for more on how I can assist my clients. Therefore, first starts with me and my involvement. But thankfully, it doesn't last too long. I know that we all have different spiritual or religious beliefs, but in myself within my growth, I feel that every day is an opportunity for growth. So if one day I feel that we're human beings. That if I'm caught up in a dilemma, or my clients are caught up in certain things, I'm an empath, so
Mhm.
I try to put myself in their position and want to fast forward the process, for lack of other words. But at the end of the day, trust, faith, it is so important. And this is why I am so blessed that I had the awareness as early as I did in my feng shui practice to combine energy clearing and spirituality into it. Having
Beautiful.
faith and trust and doing our part, it all falls back to that.
Beautiful. So prior to you connecting with this energy clearing, what do you wish your younger self knew about classical feng shui?
Again, I don't wish too much because we're all evolving. My 30, 40 years experience from the time that I was on my own, after being married to the time now, it's all been a beautiful journey. And as you know, Tracy, it's all ebb and flow. It's all,
Yeah.
it could be a resting phase. It could be a phase where we have to shed the old before we can evolve into our newer version that the universe has got ready for us. We have, again, it all goes back to trust. So yes, so I do often reflect on my past and my journey, how I got this far. Having said that, I also know, hindsight, that I got here today because of all those experiences. So taking it back to feng shui, yes, I was one of the blessed ones where it was introduced to me, 28 years ago, as I said, by the form of a coffee table book. And it has been baby steps up until it took over 10 years ago. But where I am today, it's because of those years.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I love how, as you take this journey, you are positive. Look at that. You're looking at these things as blessings instead of obstacles or regret. So that's really beautiful to
Yeah,
continue.
as you know, they or you might also hear from your clients. It may not feel like that at the time, of
Mhm.
course,
Of
but
course.
looking back, definitely.
Beautiful. So, when it is time for you to get an energetic clearing, what are some qualities that you look for in a classical Feng Shui master or energy clearing guide?
Yeah, somebody that does it with their heart and soul. I've
Oh,
also combined a few crystals in my practice. We only talk about the eight, and when people say, "Where can I purchase them?" I
hmm,
always say, find a genuine being who's connecting with it. The same applies to energy clearing, the same applies to the feng shui practice. Yes, it's a form of it's part of it is considered a business. We're all making a living,
yeah.
but at the same time, we can do both. We can operate from our heart center. Somebody who's genuine, somebody who's got the training, somebody who's got experiences, and still has a zest for life in this calling in their life. Find a genuine practitioner. This is where it starts, because then they can guide you and customize it to where the client is at that point and take them forward in their journey.
Beautiful. So you recommend that if someone's interested in this type of work to do, that they physically find a person, whether it's on Zoom instead of taking some of these kind of on-demand classes?
Again, it just depends on, sometimes it depends on their budget. Some
Hmm.
people just want to go on YouTube and find it. But I always say the universe gives us a nudge. How far we take it is up to us. And having said that, I can't speak for others because honestly, I don't know of anybody else who's a feng shui master that has put this much emphasis into energy clearing.
Mm.
This is why, right at the top on my website, everywhere when I speak in public, I am big on not just Meena as the feng shui master, Meena, the feng shui master, and energy clearing guide. The reason for that, Tracy, is that I have experience. I could write a couple of books. Of course, I won't because these are real life experiences of my clients over the
Mhm.
years, but of how much progress people made once I was able to reset the energy in their spaces. And I will share 30% roughly are my clients are in person in my offices. I have two locations. There's other 60-70% are virtual around the world. And
Mm.
sitting in my office, I am able to clear the energy. Past energy hoards itself, whether it's a house or apartment that they're in right now that was pre-owned by somebody else, or their own life happening. Sometimes we live in spaces for 10, 15, 20 years and life happens. Sickness, separation, financial, ups and downs and so on. That sadness, that heavy energy hoards itself in the walls, ceiling, paint, carpet, furnishings, and so on.
Mm.
We're well aware nowadays, especially the last 5 years, thankfully, of our working on the mind, body, soul.
Mhm.
My duty, my calling is to put just as much emphasis on the spaces that house all those other areas that we pay attention to. If the energy is not supportive, we only go so far. So energy clearing is so important, and I release most of it virtually around the globe. I can tell sitting here, I have powerful energy chimes, and I will go around their home. They're going around. We have it's a beautiful ritual, but I can tell them in that third drawer at the bottom, from the bottom, or this night table or that kitchen drawer. They don't need to share with me. I don't need to know, but there is something in there that's waiting to be released.
Mhm.
And afterwards, most of the time, we build a connection with our clients, and I'm sure you do as well. They do share,
Yeah.
but I honestly don't need to know. I just need for them to part with it, whether it's something broken, it's something sad, somebody gave them something, it's a past relationship, it's something when they used when their health was down. there's always something, almost 99% of the time, that they're able to say, this is what it is. And then we release it. We free up the space for the feng shui energy, the universe, to give us more of where we are today instead of those things weighing us down.
Beautiful. So someone's listening to the podcast. They're like, wait a minute, I'm so interested. This is my thing. What advice would you give them for just entering this work if they're choosing the path of being a feng shui master and an energy clearing guide?
Yes. I have so much information that I have created. It is not somebody wrote for me. It
Sure.
is on my website. Each department is
Beautiful.
customized. There's blogs written on bedrooms. There's blogs on kitchen, front door, offices, businesses, health. I teach Feng Shui vision board courses. It is all on there. It is genuine writing. And then I always say I'm a message away. When somebody's curious and they've received quite a few nudges and they're ready to elevate their being, the information will come to them, and I can only advocate for mine.
Sure. And we have to remember that you had those little nudges too, right?
Oh, definitely. We
That's how
all
you
do, Trixie. We all do. We all do. It is how mindful we are. I've coined a term called an energetic dance, and it just makes so much sense to me. As we said, the universe gives us a nudge, and
Yes.
then we do something about it. We make that shift. We read something. We watch something on the topic. We make those few changes, and then energy appreciates it. And now the next day, next week, it rewards us a little bit more. Now we notice the shift. We get more empowered and we do more. And it's just a beautiful dance. But I always say somebody has to take that first step.
Beautiful. So we're going to head over towards that beautiful webpage of yours that you mentioned. So what are the services and modalities that you offer? Are there classes, events, trainings, sessions?
Yesterday, I was teaching my Feng Shui vision board to a small group in a conference room, and the more like their goal setting. I teach Feng Shui vision boards beginning of the year online, and the rest of the time I teach it. It's a course they can purchase on my website online. It's me speaking in front of the video like this, and then they go at their own pace. Now, the way that I have structured, and I believe 100% that this is the way that it works, is first I focus on energy clearing. Let's reset your space. Let's give it a clean slate to receive. So remove the previous energy. Then let's place the precisely calculated feng shui tools on there. That all happens behind the scenes in my office. I keep it very simple for delivery, but most effective. I get them to send me a floor plan. It's clearly marked in 9 areas. That kitchen wall, dining room wall in the back of your home, 2/3 and 1/3 is the washroom on the other side. That's your wealth area. This is what's there. This is what you need to place. By the way, my remedies are very simple. Again, we're in the Western world. I don't have any frogs, turtles, snakes, anything sticking out for the wrong reasons. They're beautifully incorporated. Energy is something that when somebody walks into one of the homes that has been feng shui with me, and this is based on the feedback I get. We had somebody come to our home. They're in the realm of energy, as in yourself, Tracy. If you were to walk into one of my clients' homes, and they said, "What did you do here?" The energy is so uplifting and elevating. Yet they had no clue that my clients had feng shui consultation done. That's the power of the precisely calculated feng shui tools. And now you've placed the tools to assist you. What is left? Let's go manifest.
Beautiful.
So this is my 3-step process, but it all starts with first removing the stagnation.
Yeah. So where can we find you if we
My
want to get a hold of
website,
you?
yes, momentumfengshui.com. It is very easy to find. We have Google pages in my 3 locations. As you mentioned, right now, I think we have over 120 reviews. Each one's 5-star, hard earned, and I'm grateful to the universe and my clients for that. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. I give them the content. My staff posts regularly. That is my way of giving back. For every one person that reaches out and say, what about this? I know many others that could benefit. So I constantly create posts on that. We have a newsletter that goes out twice a month on seasonal. Right now we're talking about spring, how to bring spring energy, and they can sign up for that. I have 6 free ebooks: residential, business, crystals, energy clearing. They're all free on the website. We're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube. I have so many videos on YouTube that they can watch. They're half hour or less, and again, practical tools that they can implement in their home.
Beautiful. And I think I heard you say you offer a discovery call.
Yes, this is where it starts. There's no charge for it. It's a complimentary 20 minutes, and of course, I never time the call. When that client reaches out, obviously the universe has a bigger picture for us to, if it's not just about the sales, it's not about the consultation. A lot of times I've helped them just over a discovery call, because if it literally takes 5 minutes from me and it can shift somebody's quality of life, why not? Right.
Right.
So yes, they can book a discovery call on the website. It is very easy to do right on the homepage, and it's my time with them one-on-one.
Beautiful. And for the listeners, in my journey of traveling along and connecting to other practitioners, a green flag, which I consider a good sign of someone who is a sincere person, is, you mentioned that you don't worry about the time, that you focus on what was best for the client. So that's a really good thing to look for right here, our listeners, is that you're more concerned with the client than actually watching the clock. So thank you for that. Thanks for offering that. So that kind of takes the fear out of it for people to reach out if they need help, that like, hey, I can, get this figured out, have a conversation, and then know how to proceed forward. So that ends our first part of our journey, and I'm going to continue to guide you into the second part, which is questions from listeners and Reiki students. So here we go. Number 1, how can changing your environment help elevate your life?
As I mentioned before, it's not something that's seen, it's felt. So we are on a mission. Somebody might be in a 4-year program studying. Somebody might be wanting to make a career shift. Some others are focusing on health, family, and so on. But it's the energy in our spaces. So make sure that it flows beautifully. Release clutter. So the easiest way for me to give an example is, each space is always 100% full of energy. Each drawer, each room, each home, car, it's always 100%. It's never 95%, right? How much of that, what percentage of that is healthy, supportive energy, and how much of it is energy that's weighing us down? Now, let's say that you're in a closet and you just decided to take care of one drawer, because we always say start small. Start small, otherwise we get too overwhelmed. You've just freed up that one drawer of things that were no longer so broken, things that needed to be old paperwork, anything that was in there. You've just created the space for the universe to now give you more of where you're at in life right now, for you to elevate the quality to the next level. So start small and make intentional changes.
Right. I remember my sister, she loved to shop. she was a shopper, and she'd shop all year round, and she would get so overwhelmed when she'd come into her space, and because she would see everything, and then she'd just start with a trash bag and start going around the space and just get so burned out, and it just really, really got ahead of her. So I like how you said start small, start with that one drawer, and then take it from there.
Yeah, because as I said earlier, the energetic dance will kick in.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, the next day you wake up, you feel lighter, you feel more motivated, then you'll do more.
Yeah, yeah. One of the techniques I do is I'll turn music on, and I go around with a little kind of trash bag, and I put a few things in there in the time of the song as I dance around and put things in there to kind of clear things, and that's what I go to take it off and donate it. So that's
Yes,
another
yes.
technique. Number 2. What is one energy technique that you use in your own life?
Energy clearing is a big word, and a lot of times people can get overwhelmed with it. So the energy clearing technique would be to start by opening the blinds, opening the drapes, opening the windows, even in the winter, just intentionally for a few seconds. Go around your home. If you don't have any brass bells or anything to basically get that heavy energy unstuck, just go and clapping around, wake it up, go around with the smoke clearing ritual and with the intention that you're freshening up your space. Do it before 12 noon. That's when we prefer to do energy clearing, not in the dark. And reset your space. You will feel so much lighter and better and more energetic just knowing you've done your part. So they
Right.
can start there. We mostly have in the Western world our weekends to ourselves. So make it a small ritual. Literally, it should not take more than 15-20 minutes.
Right, right. And I remember as a little girl, my grandmother would do that. Like she would open up the windows or open the doors, and then she would take like the sheets on the bed and shake them out and things. And I was like, why are we opening even when it was cold out? Because I was in Pittsburgh, so it was a little chilly. And she's like, this is what you're supposed to do to get the bad energy out. And I'm like, oh, okay.
The wisdom from the grandmothers,
Like,
honestly, it's all coming back in all
I know,
cultures.
right?
In all
I know.
cultures, yes.
Right, right. Number three, can you tell me a little bit about your flying stars method?
Yes, so we briefly talked about it. So flying stars is what we were referring to in classical feng shui. Flying stars is like astrology.
Right,
Once you figure it out, it's not going to be the same. Planets are evolving. So it's the same thing. We have numbers in flying stars feng shui, which again, the clients don't need to know. They don't need to get overwhelmed. My delivery is very simple. This is your relationship area, this is the wealth area, the career area, this is what you need. And if they ask questions, I will elaborate. Having said that, behind the scenes, there's 9 numbers. Two of those numbers are built in permanently when that dwelling was built, whether it was built 5 years ago or 50 or 100 years ago. I figure all that out based on the compass reading, virtual compass I have from sitting here around the world. When the roof went on, what is the square footage, and so on. I create that. The third number is an annual number. We have our Feng Shui New Year on February 4th, and the number shifts for the year. So that is flying stars. Flying stars is staying current. Every year we rearrange the remedies slightly if they need to be rearranged, and then we're good for another 12 months. So it's not just a cookie cutter, the left hand is this or the right is this or the front
right.
door is this or this is where your relationship area is. Yes, the areas are there, but the remedy is
Mm,
precisely calculated.
wonderful. I love it. Well, that was our last question. And as we were talking, is there anything else that you might have forgotten or something that you like to share with the listeners? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I don't think we've forgotten anything, but now since you asked, thank you. One thing is coming to me, and this is something, no matter where I am, it keeps coming up constantly. Even yesterday's conference, the boardroom presentation, we're all on our own journey. We're all evolving. Don't compete with somebody else. So and so is successful because we don't know what the universe has in plan for us. Having said that, we co-create with the
Mhm.
universe. Let's do our part. Let's keep our spaces empowered, clean, grateful, the plants, the crystals, gratitude. And when you get a nudge to do something about your space, there's a reason for it. Reach out to a trusted practitioner. And even then, I always say, Tracy, I am just the guide. I am
Mhm.
the guide. I do what I do with my heart and soul. The universe has connected us, but they are the ones that will follow. So find a trusted guide, but then don't just say, well, if I put this, this will happen. Intention, stay connected, do your part. It's a beautiful gift we have where we are in life right now. And focus on the gratitude and stay connected on why you're doing what you're doing. We will evolve leaps and bounds if we do our part.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Mina, so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to join me on this Ready, Set, Reiki journey.
Yeah, I'm so blessed for this opportunity as I am with everything that comes my way. Thank you, Tracy, and I will continue to send you and your listeners love.
Thank you so much. All right, my wonderful listeners, if you'd like your question featured on the podcast, reach out, www.readysetreiki.com. I'm Tracy Seawright, and this has been Ready, Set, Reiki.